So here's my ficus, trimmed, shaped and wired up. So for those who don't know much about bonsai, there's always a front. So that's the front there. And so what you can see that I've done is I've up here, this particular branch was actually the leader. That was actually going straight up, and this here was a side branch. So in the last video I mentioned that, you know, essentially with bonsais, all your branches taper down, you know, to like matchstick thickness, then pencil thickness here to, you know, thicker and obviously your main trunk. So can you see how that form helps it look like a tree? So what I've done with this one, I've actually gone for twin leaders. There's a sort of a void here. If I had this here as a side branch, ficus are pretty flexible, they're pretty forgiving actually. So if I had that as a side branch, which it was, that's okay, but there's a bit of a void. And sometimes you might want to do that, but in this particular case I didn't, so excuse my fingers being in the way. So that's me forming it out. So you can see, like in nature, in a tree, the branches go out, and then as they go out, the weight of and the age of the branch brings it down. So I'm replicating that. Now this one I'd previously wired, so that's got a really low swing, which is absolutely brilliant. And this one I'm making, that's quite a juvenile branch. It's like it's got a pale green, not sure if you can see that, and that's good. I've decided to leave this with a little bit of an upward tilt. So it's really taking good form. Now, what you can't see from that angle is, actually I'll grab the camera and I'll move it into the overhead view so you can see down. You can see how, oh, whoops, sorry, how I've, you know, structured the branches outwards to give it sort of good balance. But, you know, essentially you want to be able to see through and pick up elements of the trunk. Now, last time I mentioned that this is in an oversized pot, sort of bonsai looking, but it's not. So it'll be about half that depth, possibly wider. I'll probably go either oval or square with this one, but there's also an opportunity within these cracks to either leave an air gap or to find a rock that will fit into that to make it look like it's you know, grown over a rock. And you can use rocks and different ornaments and so forth. So I'll just quickly move the video into the overhead and then I'll wrap it up. But, you know, in the last video, which was me pruning it out, thinning it out because I'd let it overgrown, I just wanted to do a follow-up video and show it wired up. So I'll just quickly grab the camera. Can't really see what the camera's looking at, but that's, you can see how the branches are sort of spread out, spaced out to give it good form. Anyway, I thought I'd do that final wrap up of the video, the bonsai and what it looks like now that it's wired up.